What up, it's your kid Koda, you already know, official 4x4, and you're watching African Entertainment. Keep watching, it's your boy Koda right here.
You're watching African Entertainment, my name is Six Star General, give it a lot.
Hello, I'm Petra, a musician.
Hey, my name is Becca, and you are watching African Entertainment TV. Don't go anywhere. I love you, Becca Hart.
It's been a challenge, but most importantly, we're alive and well. Business-wise, it's affected all of us, especially within the events, marketing, PR space. You know how it is in Ghana. Usually for marketing, PR budgets, that's the least in the budgets of a lot of corporate organizations, let alone now that COVID has hit all of us, they would, not be looking into advertising, what have you. But nonetheless, it's our business space. As an entrepreneur, you have to constantly be on your feet. You have to constantly innovate. You have to constantly create. You have to keep with the times. And we are fortunate to have been able, to some extent, to sustain our pride and heritage, our national pride and heritage, which is the Miss Ghana brand. So I'd say, to begin with, at some point we were the only pageant all over the world that was ongoing and had found an innovative way. Now some people, tap into our space and say, okay, we want to do like a virtual audition or review, but really, as always, looks like we didn't this time set the trend or pace here in Ghana, but globally we did that. We're grateful for that. It's scary. If you look at globally, the rates at which people were contracting or testing positive, the rates at which people were dying, it's like flies just dropping, in their numbers. It was very terrifying, especially when back home here in Ghana, you weren't sure as to exactly what the situation was like, because I'm sure we had different environmental and physical or human, effects as to how the COVID impacts one. So you really didn't know where we were heading or what would happen to us. Until date, I would say we really don't know, because our numbers, yes, it's rising gradually, but you really don't know what really the situation is. Obviously, there's no way we'll be testing as well as, developed countries because of our constraints, financial constraints. So you really don't know what's going on out there. If people have tested positive, why is it that we're not dying, as fast as other countries? And people are, maybe it's the melanin in us. But hey, others in other countries are equally black, have melanin. So you really don't know. And as a religious people, we say, okay, we're God's chosen one, so that's why. But it's very important we know the character, the form, shape of this particular virus, so we can protect ourselves. But in the interim, you can only, practice the precautionary measures, keeping, that distance, wearing your nose mask, being extra clean. Thank God for that. Hopefully we'll see a shift in our, personal and economic, environmental hygienic conditions, which is quite bad here. So hopefully it would create that shift in attitudes. Well, to begin with, we're a very close-knit and supportive family. I am where I am, or have gotten thus far in life mostly with the support of family, okay? So we naturally are quite close-knit. But I'd say COVID made us closer, or spend much more time, versus when on a regular basis everyone is out there chasing, work and trying to make a living. So yes, it did bring us closer. Except for family who don't live here, immediate like siblings who live abroad. So you're constantly on video calls, video chats, what have you. It also gave you an opportunity to reflect on life, how far you've come in life, where you want to go, and how things will impact or affect how things are done in the future. And it means if you're diversifying your business portfolio or finding an innovative way to stay afloat. It's brought in the challenge of how do you support staff, because you've employed people, they have their families that they take care of, what have you, so their source of livelihood. So it was a worry, it still is a worry as to how you'll be able to do that, because people's lives depend on, your business. So you have that to think about. But like you said, it brought people closer. But in some cases, the rates of domestic violence and abuse also escalated. Whether it's the women beating their husbands or husbands beating their wives or attacking their children, yes, it did bring that closer. And another thing that I thought of was, in some communities, they might not be able to have a decent meal, especially for the kids. So they always look forward to going to school to enjoy, the free meals of school. But now that there's that lockdown, no school, what happens to them? So it's a lot of thinking process, and hopefully as a country you do that individually, and I'm sure you do that at the community level, at national level, district level. Hopefully we could come up with a better plan to be able to economically empower our citizens, so we don't have to, it's not possible, it's not sustainable to feed people all the time, but we need to be able to empower them economically, because when they're empowered economically, they will pay their taxes, and when they pay their taxes in occasions like this, government could decide and say, like in the US, when they were giving that $1,200, it's from their taxes. They paid their dues. So then, you'd have systems like that to cushion us. But it's a global problem. Not just here, we would feel the impact because of our situation, but Corona, I don't know where you came from, but you have to go back. You see, I'm not going to answer that. Because, it's a work interview. I like to keep my personal life out. How many years have I done interviews and I've never talked about my...
How is exclusive events doing?
It's a challenge. Like we said, if it comes to resources, sponsorship, it's like zero. But like we said, we had to try and find creative but innovative ways of staying afloat. So thankfully for us, we started or launched in January 2020. February, we had auditioned. So by the time the pandemic kicked in, we have our contestants, even though they were much more than the numbers we needed. We needed to only select 16 contestants who would represent the regions, each region of Ghana, but we had 50. Exactly. So we found ways to cut it down to 20 now. Words can describe it, yes. Shock. Can you imagine from, let's say, February up until now, there's like zero income. That's a big shock. How do you sustain overheads? How do you pay staff? Because the staff also have families that rely on them, that they take care of. So it's a big shock. It's a mixed bag. First and foremost, like you said, we have started. And we asked ourselves, how can we just, we've started already. Why do you give up halfway? You can do this. How do we make this a reality? And since we started in 2012, getting media to support us full on has been a challenge. They expect hundreds of thousands of cedis and bills to cover your publicity, what have you, compared to other brands that have their own television companies. So we have never been able to, we can't, and we've never been able to afford that. I kept on telling them we need to probably stick to like an online or virtual way of doing business, that you don't need these people, and if people need us, then come look for us. So it's like God presented the opportunity and we decided, let's make it happen. So for a very long time, it's like the only pageant that's on the soil is in its natural position, Miss Ghana. Well, you have a point, but even after the Media Brouhaha 2017, we still kept at it because, we had our event in 2018. We had successful queens who went on to represent us Miss World. They did so well. 2019, we had great queens who represented us equally, and we're in 2020. And God willing, thankfully, inshallah, we will have our queen who would make us proud should Miss World hold this year. I don't know. I think it has to do with our environment. You don't want to know. It's a tough one. Our environment, our country as a whole, it's a jungle. And should I say in the business environment, it's a jungle. It's a jungle. You need to be fit enough. You need to be boisterous enough. You need to be vociferous enough. It's a war zone. I think probably they know, but they just choose not to see it. One is I'm very principled. Yeah, I'm very principled and focused. And that's the only thing that will take you through in the midst of all the challenges and the attacks and what have you. You need to be focused. You need to be principled. And when you're principled, you have values, and you're true to yourself, no matter what the world thinks, provided you know in your heart of hearts, you are trying to do the right thing, because as discerning individuals, the difference between right and wrong, it's clear. There's no gray area between it. So once you're discerning enough and you're principled and you know you're being true to yourself, then you can't change people's opinion of you. But what I think you can try to do is continue doing what you feel is the right thing. And with time, the discerning ones, or those who are not discerning, will come to appreciate the difference between fact, truth, versus fallacy and falsehoods and what have you. That's point one. Because if you say you're going to try and go out there to try and explain to people who you are, it's first and foremost very expensive, and it's time consuming. Expensive in the sense that I've realized that people are happy to jump on the negative, to just spread it. They're happy about negativity. I don't know what it is, but people enjoy and celebrate such negativity, or should I say alleged bad news. Okay, they're happy about it. They're happy about people's proposed or alleged downfall. Or it's like, okay, like they say in Chiyanyao, or how do they say it? Yeah. So people naturally, enjoy that. I've come to realize. So how can you counteract that? Point one. And point two, the media would quickly pick on such stories and spread it without verifying, because people want audience, they want traction, they want to make money, they want viewership or traffic, what have you. So, but when it comes to putting out the facts or something that is good, it's like you have to beg or pay for it to be done. A few would appreciate that. Now, this is newsworthy. It's about time we have a balance, and you would share. Thank you. Oh, we're in court. No, we're in court. It takes it, it's excruciatingly long, but yes, I can't wait. I pray that maybe that's one of the good things COVID would bring me, that this year we see it to a conclusion. But yes, we did take, because it was high time you did something about it. Because I remember the first time we came under attack was in 2014, just 2 years after we took over. And I just thought it was just utter nonsense and madness, because it was clear, crystal clear. If you go out there and you say, oh, INA doesn't give prizes, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wonderful, I'm glad you're here. So you see, where are the others? Okay, so this is what, 2015? This is 2019, yeah. We've got them this is what, 2015, this is 2019. Oh, gee, they just packed them. But we have quite a lot of brochures we keep them from 2012, and everything we promise is in the brochure. Everything we promise is on our website, and everything we promise is in the contract that contestants sign. Do you think in a Patty, I see myself as a sheep, humble, simple, the small girl, would consistently, year in, year out, deny people of something you have promised, something that you have contractually signed, something that is on your website? And I would do that consistently, and nobody would take me up? Come on. Even the president of our country, who is the most influential and most powerful man, cannot do things with impunity. They will take him up legally. How much more me? I'm sure even if when people do like, oh, cost of paying a lawyer is expensive, there will be lawyers out there who would be like, we will deal with her. You get it. If she thinks she's above board and she's like they say, tuno, we will break that.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. So I always ask, like, why don't you just investigate? Because everything that is promised, we don't manufacture those prices. The prices are given to us.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take a day, really. It's just a couple of minutes or maximum an hour to visit our sponsors and ask that, oh, you promised. Thank you. So like you see, this is 2015. And you see it's the Citroën C4 Aircross.
Yeah.
Okay, so meaning the winner got this.
Yeah.
Now, if you visit the winner's house, you would see her.
In the car.
Exactly.
So where then from?
Thank you. So I go and investigate.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Go and find out. So you see there's that price card and there are terms and conditions. Do you understand? Then you have 1 year volunteering with the foundation, laptop from IPMC. It's there. Visit IPMC and find out. And most of these prize presentations, they're done in their premises. So when you go online now and you Google, you find images of IPMC presenting these prizes. So if it's not pure evil, if it's not being malicious or being mischievous, then what is it?
Can't explain.
I don't know. Exactly. So my brother, how do you go trying to fight or change people's mind? The truth is out there. So sometimes I wonder, is it that we're so bankrupt with honesty that when something is honest and it's in front of you, you can't see it? No. I mean, it's worrying. And if we want to grow as a country, we have a lot of house cleaning or putting our house in order to do. How did we know it would work? We weren't that sure. It's a risk. We've got these talented contestants. They had done a pre-talent screening. So when you go to our official YouTube page, that's Mastana Official, you'd see the pre-screening of their talents. And we realized, why let this go waste? Why display it at home when, thankfully, the lockdown was eased a bit and the president gave the permission to have a gathering of not more than 25. And luckily we were 20 contestants. So what we had to do was we didn't do an open dance. They just had to come and perform individually. And then we had other buildings nearby who were happy to host the team and they came in phases. So we did not go against the 25 just in case some police officer came knocking, since they like to be on our case.
Yeah, no, right. And then
But yeah, so thankfully, yeah, it went well. If you watch on it, they cooked. You'll be amazed. I remember, I won't mention name because it's like you're giving one person credit, but they were quite creative. And I was impressed that some of them could really cook. Because, it's like sometimes young ladies of today feel it's beneath them to cook. And they talked about topics such as if they were the first female IGP, what 3 changes or innovation they will bring into the force, what have you. They talked about how COVID has impacted lives positively, negatively, and what we can do going forward. So it's been very educational, it's been very entertaining, it's been very informative. So thank God we're creative. Ghanaians say we've got it. It's been positive. It's been positive. In fact, we've had people even reach out to us from Nigeria who were like, oh, we want to advertise and stuff. So we've emailed them a proposal. It's been positive. You've had the existing sponsors who've been good to us. For example, they support us with food, they support us with water. So of course, you give them that platform. They appreciate of it,
commitments to
Exactly. The only challenge is cash. Cash is like 0, but you get that support from them and from the parents, because most importantly, you needed the parents to buy into it, because in this COVID era, who would allow her daughter to just...
That's true.
Exactly. So we're grateful and thankful to the parents that they were discerning and they shared in this vision, and then that we can do it safe within the precautionary measures and still deliver and make Ghana proud. So so far it's been very good. It's been, some people sent messages privately, how are you able to do this in the COVID era? And I'm like, just visit the YouTube page and see. We had some people who came in from the diaspora and stuff, but along the line, unfortunately, they couldn't, match up. And we have students who are very intelligent. We have biochemistry, students who are studying biochemistry. We have law students. We've got oh gosh, I've just gone blank. But yeah, quite a wide variety in terms of their educational background, in terms of the regional representation. So I'm very impressed. For now, the final show, the date is slated for July. It's like the end, I think it's at 24th. It's a Saturday, yeah. That's what we're looking at. But things could change. For instance, say end of June, our president feels, which I doubt though, because the numbers keep increasing and stuff. So I'm not sure there will be that complete, lifting. But we plan as though we're still in a restrictive, period, and our first priority is hosting a virtual show. There'll be no audience, and there'll only be 16 contestants because soon we're going to be evicting 4 through the voting and all the activities they've done so far. So I think after the fashion show will be on the 27th of June. And because there's a bit of like an ease, so I mean, we'll still have our virtual fashion show, but after that, I think end of June, by the 30th of June, we will know who the lucky 16 contestants would be. So we will have a show with 16 contestants and the 4 judges and the production crew, no audience. So COVID has changed the way we will live, the way we would interrelate, and the way we will transact business. And hopefully the positives should far outweigh the negatives. In terms of the critics, all I can say is maybe for lack of knowledge, people will behave in a certain way, but I thank them for being my critics, because people who criticize you constructively help you improve, and people who don't help you sit to reflect and say, something must have triggered this. How can we work around it to make sure it doesn't happen? And like my lawyer would say, even though I find it hard, a big pill to swallow, he says, no news is negative, or no critic is that negative, because at the end of the day, it's an opportunity to advertise your business or create awareness for free. Because like I said, when we have something to do and it's good, we have to pay for it. But the critics do that, and if you quantify the value of that, and there's no way we could pay for that. So I thank them for that. And with regards to our fans, Ghanaians out there and the world who are watching Miss Ghana Beauty Pageant, because like we said, we started this whole virtual thing in pageantry. We're grateful for that, and hopefully we'll be in the Guinness Book of Records. But please subscribe to our official YouTube page, which is Miss Ghana Official or Miss Ghana Foundation Official. Subscribe to our Instagram pages, which is at _ Miss Ghana, and of course our Facebook pages. And everything that the contestants have been up to, all the tasks, the assignments, you would enjoy watching it on all those social media handles. Hey, that's the future. We're going virtual with practically everything. So don't be left out. And thank you.